It's by far the most embarrassing thing to get wrong as a music producer, so definitely avoid this #1 mistake. Get it right before you even start making music.
Turn it up, feel the high, feel it now and run. Breathe it in, let it go, feel the high, feel it all and run.
Hey guys, welcome. It's a wonderful Sunday. Welcome to the John Sine studio, where I make music every day and you get to be part of it. Today, although not really making music, or at least not showing you how I make music, today it's actually time for another track submit edition. That's the segment where you guys send me tracks, I listen to them and give you feedback. I usually do these episodes when I'm just way too busy, and being on Sunday in the studio means I'm really extremely busy, and it's also a way for me to give back to you guys, like giving you feedback, helping you to advance with your productions. So if you're interested to send me your tracks for the next track submit edition and get feedback, the link is down below in the description. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. There's nothing scarier than my computer not working. Without it, I'm completely screwed. All of my music is on here, all of my videos, all of the music making, video editing is done with this machine. Not working, not good. Oh god, let's try it again. Okay, it's working. It's strange. It's really extremely warm, and it needs like 6-7 times longer to start, and it sometimes just shuts down for absolutely no reason, so I hope this won't happen again today. But without further ado, let's just get to the track submits. Before actually getting to the track submits, I usually choose the track submitted songs for the feedback randomly out of a list. This time I actually went through almost all of it just to check what kind of music you guys are making. It was just interesting to me to see what my viewers are actually into. And I realized that the overall quality of the mixing and the production was actually quite good. There were a lot of really well balanced and mixed songs, but the biggest problem of them was actually always like the arrangement wasn't like the best. The sound design, and the thing that like stood out the most was like the music actually. And I don't know why so many people think that they can just become a music producer without knowing any music, because it's music producer, not producer music. Like the music is the important part of it. There were so many tracks that just were wrong, where I immediately know that the person that made that song doesn't have a clue about music theory or about like music, how to write a song, how to write interesting chords, how to write interesting melodies. And I have to admit, I myself started producing music without having like the biggest music knowledge, just like the basics. And then I learned like producing music and also music theory at the same time, but I always made sure that like my musical part is like on par with my production part. Because if your song is mixed well, arranged well, you have a fat, huge drop and it sounds amazing. If the melody is just wrong and clashing with either the vocal or with another melody within the track, you immediately fail. No one will ever release your track. It's so embarrassing. So please first learn the music part. That's by far the most important. If you want to become a music producer, I can't emphasize it enough. It's about music. A well-written track is still 100 times better than a well-mixed track that just has mistakes in the music. Let me know if you agree or disagree, if it's possible to make music without knowing like music. I mean, for me, it's very obvious that you first have to learn that before you start producing. And as you know, I made like a couple of months ago a video how to produce music without knowing any music theory. I will link it up right here and at the end of the video if you want to go check it out. You will learn the first kind of really basic steps, and I think tomorrow I will actually make like the second part of how to produce music without knowing any music theory. Let me know if you're interested in that, but now let's actually get to the 3 tracks that I choose for today's track submit. The first one is by Vipilicious. It's called Sunrise ID. It's, yeah, a progressive EDM track. First thing I noticed just from looking at the SoundCloud waveform is that the break in the middle is just way too long. Like half of the song is just like a huge break. You can have huge breaks, but I think the dance part should be at least as long as the break part is. Otherwise, people will be standing around more than actually dancing, and it's more about the dancing. The break is more like for calming everything down, letting the people gain energy again and having that contrast to the drop. Mixing wise, it's a bit muddy in the mid frequencies. There's like this ARP sound going on and a lot of pads, and I think it's too much. I would shift the ARP maybe down, the pads up. I think it's more about the frequency distribution to make like the mid part a little cleaner, and there isn't like a real catchy main melody kind of part. It's like more filler instruments in it, filler melodies, background stuff. I'm missing like the huge main thing that drives the entire track and that gets kind of stuck in your head. So yeah, maybe trying to lower the octave on the ARP or make it higher to have more room in the middle, and add like one main melody that is like the main thing of the song. I mean, just listen to some of the Avicii songs. He does it always really good. Also some of the Martin Garrix tracks, they always have like one big main thing, drums, and a little bit of other stuff in the background to make it more interesting. And that's kind of the magic formula to make those kind of EDM big room songs. The next one is by Kane. It's called Strive. I extremely love the cover. It's cool, kind of having the circle flip that just looks, I don't know, simple but good. That's how you make covers. So this track is kind of cool. The drums are good. I'm not sure about like the top parts of the song. Like the main melody is okay, but the sound doesn't really fit to the rest of the track. So I might think about changing the sound. It just doesn't really fit to the style. I mean, you can go for it if you want to do it in a different way than everyone else is doing, which is totally fine. But I think a more electronic sounding main sound could be really helpful to get a little bit more energy into this track, because you kind of have this flute kind of sound that is more like tropical house. The drums are more like future bass or trap, and those kinds of music are usually not having like those pad sounds and this ambient kind of vibe. What I really like about this song is like the effort in it. There are a lot of small sounds in it that keep it and make it interesting. So really great having those effect sounds in there, a lot of them at the right spots. That really helps to make the track interesting. Next song is by NBS. They made a song together with Eddie. It's called Gravity. It's a big room EDM song. Let's just give it a listen. Great EDM big room song, and it makes right what the first track didn't do, like having this main melody that just gets stuck in your head. I like the sounds. The sound design is cool. The mixing is cool. I think this entire track is lacking like the last 10%, but getting them can take a couple of years, so I think they're already quite advanced. This might be something for release. The only thing is like the main sound, it reminds me so much of another big EDM track. You probably know which one I mean. It's very close. The arrangement is good. Overall clarity could be improved, but those are like really the last 10%, and it's hard to give advice for the last 10%. That's really something that comes with experience and just doing it a whole lot of times. The build-up is really good. The drop is huge and fat, and it really hits. So a great, successful big room EDM song. That's how it's done. I just realized some of the reverbs are a little muddy, so I would just try and go back into the project and EQ all of the reverb channels. If you have them on channels or like individually, they muddy up a little bit the mix. So that's it for now with the track submits. Now back to working on my own music, trying to improve it, because you never learned enough. There's always room to improve, no matter for how long you're producing music. It's all about putting the hours into it, grinding hard, trying to improve each and every day, and that's exactly what I will do now for the rest of the day, until it gets dark outside and my girlfriend calls me and is asking me why I'm spending my entire Sunday in the studio. That's just the way it is. Let me know what your girlfriend thinks about you spending way too much time making music. I'm expecting some really fun comments down below. I could fill like a book with what my girlfriend thinks about it, and on top of that the daily vlogs. But anyways, that's it from today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see us tomorrow again. Sign out.
Can't shake the feeling, I can't help myself.